Represent.
All right, boys, we're rolling here. How we doing?
All right. Okay, everyone, it's been a little while. It's been a little bit, but don't worry for a second. The Lingoholics never left you. We were right here. Buena onda episode 11. This is Ian on the mic here. We're in the lovely town of Cochrane, Alberta. This is where Cody's residing here. Town I know a little bit too. One of my other best friends lives here. And yeah, boys, it's been a little bit. But I've been super pumped. We've been, I think the longer we go without a podcast, the more I look forward to it. And we got a wicked guest here today that we're going to introduce here shortly. But let's just take it here now. Okay, the guy's sitting right next to me here. Estamos. ¿Qué pasa, Colo? On the mic, bro.
Man. I'm good.
Yeah.
I've moved back home. I've moved back home. She's cat got my tongue.
Wait, you live in Cochrane now?
Yeah, that's right. I'm living in Cochrane right now, which is a small town just northwest.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That would be a big change.
We're a continent apart now.
Yeah, no, dude. I thought you were living in Calgary.
No, I've moved back home.
Pasa lo que pasa, güey.
Pasa lo que pasa.
It's not a big change from Calgary to Cochrane.
You're right. You're right.
Must be has been a big change. Just to make it closer to family.
It feels basically the same.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Good for you.
Marcus, what's up, brother?
So it's 11:24 p.m. in Calgary.
Yes,
meanwhile,
where we are.
we're sitting here. We're having our morning coffee here in Barcelona. Barcelona se pronuncia Barcelona en catalán, pero en castellano se pronuncia Barcelona.
Okay.
Right? Did you get that, Miguelito? There's two different pronunciations here. But anyway, we're sitting here. It's 7:24 a.m. We just woke up.
Yeah.
Yes, look at that cup.
Oh, yes.
You just woke up. I just had a warm chocolate because today I just had here in Calgary or in Cochrane, we're having the first taste of winter. Autumn is coming. Yeah, it's pretty cold outside.
It was pretty cold here yesterday, and right now I think it's pretty cold. I think it's like 15 degrees out, which is pretty cold for here. We had northern winds coming down from France and Britain, so it was actually pretty chilly. Yet last night was the first time where I actually had to wear my sweatshirt to walk around. But it's gonna get nice out today. I'm going to the beach. Don't worry, boys. I'm going to the beach. Not a big deal.
Yeah, the weather in Calgary overall it's nice. It's warm during the day, and it just gets colder at night. But it's still sunny and bright.
Yeah, so I've been checking the weather. I can't wait until it's like -10 and snowing in Calgary.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's like +20 and
sunny. That's when we stop talking.
I don't mind the change. I was looking at I don't mind the change. Winter is fun. It's one part of Calgary. It's part
You
of
like it? Miguelito?
It's not. Yeah, I do. I prefer being by the ocean all the time. But if you think about it, there's also the bad part, because if you think living in the tropical, you might see the beaches, but if you live there, you're gonna have a lot of insects. So I prefer probably have colder winter, and than having insects, or when you want to eat outside, you have flies, mosquitoes. Like in summer in Calgary, those big mosquitoes.
Yeah.
But I do like it. I do like winter. I do like the changes of the weather.
The thing, so my favorite temperature is 10 or 15 degrees Celsius.
Oh, what's wrong?
But let me explain. Because it's warm enough to wear shorts. For me, I wear shorts when it's 10 degrees out. Not a big deal. But it's also you're not sweating all the time. I bike to work, and biking in 25, 30 degrees is horrible. You get to work and you're all sweaty. I wear cotton clothing a lot, so my clothing's all moist. and heavy.
point.
It's super gross, and it smells like I smell all day, and it's
Whatever. You're in a
it's not
lab,
a pleasant
bro.
sight. Yeah,
You're
but
on a
still, it's
business
uncomfortable.
meeting.
But like yesterday, I was biking to work, and I was in a t-shirt still, obviously, but it was like colder and a little windy, and I was like, "Damn, this is so nice!" Like that's called. I'm actually like I'm gonna bike really hard because like you can bike really hard without getting sweaty. So I, which was really nice because usually like I intentionally bring it down a notch. I don't bike so fast because I don't want to get so sweaty. But yesterday I was like sending it through
How long did it
diagonal.
take you to go to work by bike?
If it's cold out and I can bike really fast without getting sweaty, I can bike in 13 minutes. Otherwise, I go in 20.
How is the way? So it's probably not really straight like in Calgary because I do go.
No, it's
except
straight.
when I'm in downtown.
It's straight, man. I bike on diagonal. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is it diagonal. Have you been to Barcelona?
Yeah, I've been.
So you know diagonal.
Yeah.
The street
Okay.
that runs from like the beach, the southwestern part of town the southeastern part of town up to the northwestern part of town. It's just like a diagonal avenue that just runs straight through. So basically what I do, I go straight. So I'm only a couple blocks from that. So I bike straight up to it. And then on diagonal, there's bike paths or like bike lanes or whatever. So I just go straight up. No, it's not La Rambla. But it's I just go straight up because my workplace is right on diagonal.
What's La Rambla?
La Rambla is the most iconic, the most famous pedestrian street.
Okay.
It goes from Plaza Catalunya to the beach or the port. The port.
I've been there a long time ago.
Yeah.
Just to visit.
Miguelito.
And the way I portray going to bike to work in Europe is just these streets, small streets, and you are competing with with cars because there's no proper bicycle path. No,
it's not like that here. There's bike paths everywhere that are separated from the vehicular traffic.
Yeah, different in Holland or in Germany. They if the pedestrian goes through the bike path, they will get hit. They don't even tell you anything.
Yeah.
They're pretty aggressive in Germany. Like, they don't tell you excuse me or.
Yeah, the Germans when it comes to cars, they love it.
Yeah, die
pretty
Deutsch,
aggressive.
Die sind sehr aggressiv.
Yeah, sehr aggressiv.
Yeah. Not true.
All right, boys, what's on the agenda?
All right, yo. Okay, he's already spoken a little, got his voice on the show, but let's have the man, the myth, the muchacho, the maestro. We wanted you, man, since we started this. I mean, this podcast is about talking to my friends. If anybody's like, yo, why do you have a podcast with Codo Marquito? It's like,
why do you have a podcast?
Why do we have a podcast?
Yeah,
to me, okay, my simple answer.
No, I watched it, by the way. I listened to. Hey. I was listening to your last podcast with Asren, and why me? Why you choose me after Asren to fill your podcast?
Yeah.
What is interesting that I can offer here today into this talk?
Well, we should talk about how we meet. I mean, on our very first episode, me, Cody, and Marcus talked about how we met at Meetup. Mm-hmm. And same story for you, man. That's where I met you, at the Meetup, Waves Cafe.
I think that's where we all met him.
Unforgettable, man.
So
inolvidable.
So, yeah, Miguelito, how about you just introduce yourself? Talk about some of the languages you speak, languages you're interested in, and how's it going, man? How's life? Like, since Meetup's kind of been shut down, like I've only seen you a little bit.
Yes, I know. I'm just busy on working on my things. I guess I'm missing a lot the meetups, the languages. I know there's still offering the online, but that's what I needed was being able to share energy in a more and be pushed in a different way, because in Canada it's really easy to get isolated, especially for me. You asked me how's I'm going here in Calgary. I feel like somehow a fish out of the water, because with all these languages, with all these languages that, and I don't know with all these languages I didn't know what to do, because working I joined in Calgary the workplace, and the workplace the workplace in English is it's more down to the earth, is more simplified. There is now masters of business communication, working business or communication at work in English, and I realized that it's very simplified with okay, all right, and
Miguelito, tell us. Let's start from the beginning. Where are you from, first of all?
Yeah, take us back, man.
Yeah.
Hey, where am I gonna bring you? Where am I from? I am from Mars. That's where I was conceived, and then one day I ended up in the Philippines, because God said that I need to take care of this beautiful island, this pearl of the ocean,
Nice.
and yes, and I'm here, and then I'm taking care of this island. This is called the Philippines. That's where I was born, and but then the universe moved me to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Moved me to Italy, to where I studied. I was actually, okay, I'm gonna be serious. I was reunited with my dad and family, because I was in the Philippines. So my family story is a bit complicated. It's probably like many Filipino stories of immigrants stories. Maybe Latinos can relate. I don't know on this. But yes, my immigrant family that moved to Italy. My dad moved there, and my mom too. So she has to leave me with my grandparents in the Philippines until 7 years old, and then and when I was 7, moved with my mom and my dad again to Italy. I could have
Where in
moved
Italy?
with my parents.
Where?
In Milan, Milano.
Milano.
Yeah, Milano. Maybe a lot of friends are now listening. If we put this on
yeah, for sure, man.
on social media, so I take this chance to say hi to the Milanese friends.
So keep going. What happened after? What happened after Italy?
So age.
What happened after Italy?
Age 7?
And then I moved. The first day I took the plane. The first time I took the plane was to Milan, Italy, and then the second time I took the plane was to Calgary, and I was in. So I moved here in 1998, March 2020, March 21. It was spring when I arrived in Milan, and I like to say that I brought the sun, like the Filipino sun, to Milan, because Milan is pretty gray. It's like Vancouver. It's gray, it's smoggy, it's
big industrial city, no?
Arctic. Milano. There is a song. Milano, Milano, una grande città. Si beve, si mangia, l'amore si fa. Buongiorno signorina. Ha visto mio marito? This is like a conta that one of the few. La conta, no? Quando, what do you say in English?
La conta. Say it again.
La conta, when you have to choose someone, and so you have to count between people.
Oh, like eeny, meeny, miny, mo?
Eeny, meeny, something like that. But always in Italian.
Okay.
And Milano, Milan is eine große Stadt. It's una grande città. buongiorno signorina, guten Morgen, Mädchen, Fräulein.
Fräulein.
Ha visto mio marito? Hast du meinen Mann gesehen? Hai visto mio marito? Did you see my man? Did you see my man? And then you say yes. It was a way to learn. I think interaction, being interactive, and at that time, because I moved when I was 7. I was playing. I became an Italian playing somehow because it was at school and learning. I had my personality when I moved to Italy, Milan, because I was already 7, and all the rest was going like with Milanese or Italian student or Italian elementary kid will grow. I go with them. I like to say that I was raw material is Filipino, and I am being uneducated by Italians, and put straight when I moved to Canada, because I joined the workforce. So enough playing and enough studying somehow. Yeah.
So wait, Miguelito, you came to Canada from Italy?
Yes, from Italy, because somehow I was connected. So I got my permanent residency as a language immigrant in 2013, and but I used to visit. I had a multiple visa, 10 years multiple visa to Canada, because I had family here. My grandparents were here because from my mom's side, my auntie, my only mom's sister is in Calgary, and my uncle and my 2 cousins. So family is in Calgary, and Milan is from my father's side. They are in Milan. I have my dad, I have my auntie, and other cousins.
Okay, so they're still there.
I have a bigger family in Milan. That's why I stayed.
So you go to Milano often?
Now I'm now I choose, and from 2013 I choose to make Calgary my home base, and Canada my home base. Canada is pretty huge, and it's a place that there's not much change, in terms of language, and that's pretty cool, because you can really move. You can go search for opportunity easily, and because you don't have to upgrade the languages. Like in Europe, if you want to do certain jobs. And what was the thing I was saying?
So what about I have a couple questions regarding this. What about living in Canada versus this is interesting. So what about living in Canada versus Italy? How would you describe that difference?
It's pretty much the same.
Really?
So working, and it's pretty much the same. I think it really depends on you, on what you are. What I'm learning now, it's really depend on what's your perspective, what you're looking for, what's the outcomes that you're looking for, and same thing. And and same thing when you study languages. I see the difference maybe is that it's a little bit higher. The minimum wage in Canada compared to Europe is higher. I see maybe there is more opportunity in Canada. Italy. When I lived there, I didn't work, so. I used to do things more for fun, so it's like more for fun, with no really a reason to fulfill certain needs, like paying your rent or because my study in Italy, I didn't pay for. Yes, we did pay something like when you do the exchange or tuitions or books. They say that education, but it's pretty much the same.
Huh.
No.
That's interesting.
Well, what do you think? My point of view, it's probably because also my state of life when I used to live in Italy is different from when I when and then because when I moved here in Canada I was 24 and 23, 24. So at 24 you start thinking maybe build a career, build something, and starting saving money, because that was a because that was the expectation also from the family that from my family. You know, my mom wanted me to learn English, and always enroll in English extra classes. I took linguistic in Milan because I knew one day I was gonna move to Canada. For a certain reason, I knew that one day I was going to be living here, and this is I'm kind of leaving that past, past, that vision that my parents had, and I also had, because I can customize what my studies and my activities on to be prepared and ready to join to be a Canadian in one day, which is now in the present.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not prepared. When I moved here, I need to unlearn everything I learned to and all and and I'm still learning. I'm kind of actually lost still in Calgary.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry.
So I'm lost. I did things that you grew up in Milan. Milan is big city, it has everything. And I heard you from the previous episode, you were saying that we are behind. Yeah, Calgary is kind of behind because it's more functional. It's there's no decoration, there's nothing that can to fulfill like space, and here is everything is just to
Wait, I have a question.
needs.
I have a question. Just to clarify, did you say Calgary is behind?
Yes, you said that it was behind. Yes, we are behind 50 years. It is advanced in providing all the basic needs, but in terms of, let's say, to recreation, no. Yeah, I said behind, but while I am saying that I'm saying behind, I'm also thinking what are the things it's not behind. I don't know why, because that's how my brain works, is to try to see the good things about Calgary too. It is behind, like, in terms of maybe transportation or public transportation or people taking
public
bikes.
transportation. Sure.
Okay.
Yes, that's or it's behind on what other things it's behind? It's behind on street artists. Street artists. It's called maybe. Music. Live music.
So what I think in terms of culture, so this is kind of systemic to North America, and it's so obvious when you go to Europe, is that I don't think it's necessarily that Calgary is behind. I think Calgary is too much ahead, if that makes any sense. It's like the new world versus the old world, right? Like I'm in the old world right now, and everything is just so much more vibrant, and especially culturally, and just like walking around the cities here, the architecture, and like just learning about the history. It's so much more nuanced. It's so much more in depth than the history of Calgary, for example. Like here, it goes back thousands and thousands of years, right?
What do you mean that Calgary is too ahead?
No, but it's too, like it's okay. Not maybe not too ahead, but it's
it is ahead. I can relate to what you're trying to say. It is ahead. It is ahead in the sense that it has all the as North America, it's is somehow in opposition to Europe or something. It's something. It is like from a Eurocentric point of view, that North America is kind of the sun, and so it's kind of new ahead because it has the experience of the old continent, and but it still keeps some
My
some
point
of
that I'm
the
trying to make
old.
is that it's so modern that it doesn't really have
Okay.
it doesn't really have the like the intrinsic cultural, like it hasn't really experienced like that rich ancient cultural
Like,
development
yeah,
that you
culture,
Oh,
that's
yeah, I
that's
culture.
what
see.
I
I
mean
like the
by
way you
being
put it,
ahead.
though.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I mean by being ahead. Like
Yeah, I
it's
get
it's
that.
very modern. It's very
Yes, yeah,
modern,
I like
even though
the.
like walking around in certain parts of Calgary feels like walking around in like the Soviet Union in terms of like the buildings and whatnot. But it's very it's but you know what I mean.
The Laddish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
only. It's like US. Calgary is so ahead that if it turns back, you'll see the future.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
an interesting quote right there.
Yeah.
All right,
So
Ian,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it over
still
to you,
can be
man.
understood.
Well-
I know. I'm that way too. When I try to explain my vision of the community, I started joining the polyglot community, and I
Shout out.
feel, oh yeah, finally I find a community somehow
Mhm.
that I feel like I belong, because they can
All right.
understand me, or they listen to me, or they give me space. Thank you, Lingoholics.
Yeah, hey man, dude. Anytime, man. Seriously.
Because they give me
Okay.
space because I have that vision of this community. Yes,
Mhm.
of polyglots, and yeah, and I was, as I said, I was lost in Calgary, and now I'm finding my little niche
Right.
where
Okay.
I can
Right.
use because as I started working, sometimes if you put onto your curriculum that you speak 4 languages, 5 languages, and you have all this travel experience, apprentices here in Germany, here in Luxembourg, here in Belgium, and you're applying for a cleaning job because that's what is available right now. The hiring manager is intimidated. He's not gonna hire you. He say, no, this guy is too overqualified. We're gonna hire him.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So we mentioned about your linguistic background and
Yeah, let's go back
finding
to it.
yourself here in Calgary. Okay, I have a question. This is for all of you guys, not just Miguelito. So it's about
Yeah, I'm all ears.
okay. So this is something I've thought about. It's been brought up a few times. Is what's the difference between a multilingual and a polyglot?
Oh.
And then maybe me and Marcus, or sorry, Marcus and Cody come in afterwards here. But for you, Miguelito, because you grew up in the Philippines, you went to Italy when you were 7, and then you've come here to Canada. So, like, okay, what I would define a multilingual as, it's somebody they don't necessarily like have an interest in languages. They just learned it because of necessity and the environments that they were in. And if you're in like 4 different environments that require 4 different languages, then you're just going to learn those. But then a polyglot might be somebody like me who grew up like unilingual till I was 21.
Yeah.
And then diverged off and found this community now that we're all part of, like our meetups online, like our meetups, and then like there's a whole online community. So what would you classify yourself as? Would you be a multilingual, or would you call yourself a polyglot?
So you say a polyglot is someone that speaks more than 2, because if you speak 2, you're bilingual.
Okay,
so.
but a polyglot will go learn like Indonesian tomorrow with like 0 necessity, just because they like want to go learn it.
Oh, that's the polyglot. Okay.
We're a multilingual is like, my entire family just moved to Indonesia. I need to learn. What is it?
Yeah. So I'm more into that. I'm more multilingual. Like I learn.
Okay.
I learn language because of necessity. Yeah. I learn language.
But you've learned a lot because of necessity.
But I learn language because of necessity. I learn language because I needed to survive. I needed to communicate, and but I had to do it in my own way. I made it my own way. I had to enjoy. I had to somehow enjoy and find my own way to retain the information. and also I had the linguistic background. It's and that helped me to solidify or work on my foundation, which is it was at that time Italian, and the fact that I moved, moved 7 years old. In Italy, I was learning grammar, and instead of learning Filipino or English grammar, I started learning a different grammar. So having a language that I didn't, so that was Tagalog, my mother tongue. Having the Tagalog learned as hearing it by my parents, so by repetition and seeing and hearing. I did not know the rules. I would just speak it and listen to it and speak it, and that's how I use it. But then moving to Italy, I was put as also an immigrant, son of an immigrant. I had to be assessed and learn the grammar. And because I learned the Italian grammar, I was able to compare this to language, how I would say this from Filipino to Italian. And then from there, I was pretty good. Good grammar in Italian. And then from there, Italian, and then I started learning English. And then after English, German, and then after German, Spanish.
Why'd you learn German though?
I was just gonna ask.
Okay,
that.
all right. Sorry, Coda.
And why is it German? And I'm in Italy. If I was, I'm in Italy. Milan is in northern Italy, close to Switzerland. You all know Italy was colonized. Colonizer was in war with the Germans, so they were allied. And so I ended up into this school that teaches the linguistic, because that's what I choose. I wanted to do classic studies or artistic studies, but then I choose something in between because classic was more living room studies. It's more nothing that nothing really hands-on that you can really use in the work. Maybe a lot of cultural enrichment and a lot of history, which I completely remove. But at that time when I was studying, I was really passionate at the arts, history of art, philosophy, and then just moved to German and Spanish.
Miguelito, you never lived in a German-speaking.
I never
country.
lived in Germany, but I did different Austausch in Berlin, Potsdam, also the leadership workshop, working with the Jugend in Action, like the European organization like Jugend in Action, Youth in Action, and many more. I forgot now. And the Italian association, I was sent from Milan to that time was in Potsdam. That was the last time, and we were working on the stereotypes and prejudice and Shake Europe and webbed it, because we were six group made of 6 people from Italy, Albania, Bosnia Herzegovina, Macedonia, Polonia, and Germany and Deutschland. And we would discuss. We went to Reichstag, went to the come si chiama il comune, so the Gesellschaft, and abbiamo parlato and we were talking about, and we talked about Europe and how, and countries, how to become the European Union, how to be the difference between Europe and European Union, and countries that would like to join the European Union and that are but they are not approved. Or it was pretty interesting, and but nothing that helped me with with what I'm doing now, with the type of work that I'm doing. But it was a lot of fun. I met a lot of people, and I lived in family, so it's another way of living. living and studying somehow in cheap way, and you also meet the family. I have a German brother, two German brother, I have a Dutch brother, so Dutch mom and dad, because I did exchange. So I was hosted by this family, and then and I hosted this family too. And that's how I started learning languages, and and how I choose kind of linguistic, because it was gonna allow me to go visit other places. And I was in the time that I was studying linguistic, it's high school. um Italy was becoming part of the European Union, so I know it's been always part of the European Union, but there's a lot of changes happening. There were homologi, and they're making things the same. There was a school reform, there's a work reform, and there's a free circulation between all these countries, because they're making the coin the same. So euro's coming, and euro came. It was 2001, and before we had Lyre. I was really happy to bring Lyre to Canada, or just because it was way more. We had more money at that time, and then because when it became euro, I had less, and yeah, it was really sad.
That's what the people here say as well. They miss the good old times before the euro. But
Oh yeah,
Miguelito,
I miss it, and now being in Canada, maybe it's I feel like I'm somehow better situation. Coming back to when
Miguelito,
you asked me what are the difference, yes.
I was gonna say
Ooh.
you've lived a very enviable life for a polyglot.
Ambia, what is it?
Enviable. So like I'm very envious of your life.
That.
Yes, a lot of people like us want your life. If you know what I mean. Like it's our dream. It's our dream to travel around and immerse ourselves in these languages and these cultures. I mean, this is kind of what I do for a living.
Yes.
And I know like Ian and Cody as well, right? But does that make sense? Like you've obviously moved around for reasons other than languages, it sounds like.
Yes,
right? But I
moved basically family, because my family, I came from, they're immigrants, so they migrants. So I don't know, they migrant.
Right.
They move where opportunity is.
Right, economic migration.
Economic migration. Yes,
right.
And if we think my parents, my mom is from an agricultural, so like a small town girl, just like Calgary. So that's why they choose to live very in Alberta. They fit well with this type of this type of lifestyle. So my mom, yes, they were my grandparents, my grandma never worked in her life. My grandpa was the only guy was only working. And always working, and of course they wanted, and we didn't have social media. They didn't have social media, and going abroad was kind of was like going to US or going to America. It's like the dream, from a Filipina girl in the Philippines, looking for opportunity or escaping from poverty, for lack of opportunity, for corruption, whatever it is that brought him.
So that's obviously economic migration, but I'm going to go ahead and coin a new term: linguistic migration. What do you think of that, boys?
For me, yes. My point, yes. For my parents, no. There was economic, because they needed to, survive.
Yeah, you make a living, like.
Right. No, that makes sense, but I just, for me personally, like it's disregarding the economic benefits of going to a new place, just the cultural benefits like that you've had, right, from moving around. So it's not just been economic migration, it's been linguistic migration as well, because you've been able to acquire all these languages, right?
Yes, and also I have moved internally, because my mom, from being Filipino, my mom is from different province in the Philippines, and my dad is from different province too. So I move around in the Philippines too, internally, and even Philippines is very cool, like very very diverse. It's like Italy somehow, because it has many In Philippines there are like 1,000, more than 100 dialects for uh, major dialects that is spoken, and then it's just mixed. And I think Filipinos, they are building identity from outside of the outside of Philippines, not like Jews, not in the Philippines. Because Philippines, if you go there in the Philippines, there are more foreigners that that are doing businesses than Filipinos, because Filipinos are more outside.
Speaking of like diasporas, like we had one episode about like a Ukrainian diaspora, but that's like there was a wave of that a century ago. But like speaking of right now 2020, but then just even me growing up, like where I grew up in Lloydminster, Alberta, a little bit north of here, but like even here in Calgary, Cochrane, Strathmore, like surrounding area, like what do you think about like the Filipino diaspora that's here? Like, because obviously you guys, it's different waves, but like that community establishing itself, like you said, like the culture, or even the language of Tagalog, like outside of the Philippines. Like, how do you feel about that, or do you feel like you fit into do you feel like you fit into part of that?
Well, I can fit if I can fit like in terms of work, but I don't know if I in terms of lifestyle somehow.
Okay.
The lifestyle just somehow different. Is the question is the Filipino do Filipino consider me Filipino? Because when I speak Tagalog, I have a Italian accent, and my Tagalog just sounds foreign. You can I sound someone that has grown not in the Philippines but has grown outside. So I don't. It's sad to say, but I kind of outgrow. Not to say that I'm better than them, but I'm just very different from a Filipino that you'll find maybe in the Philippines, that grew up in the Philippines and then going abroad and going to Canada for the first time. But I think that just depends on education, because I grew up in Milan, so I was 7. But I'm still very like Filipino. I'm still Filipino rooted. Even though I didn't, most of my friends were Italian. I was the only Filipino in my school, because the majority of my classmates were not were foreigners. They're European. They're foreign, because even Milan is multicultural. There are many people from a different part of the world, but it's just like Canada. But we speak Italian. That's just a difference. And the difference that I know is moving is just it's just language. It's just language, but the person are the same all over. I have the sense, because probably we study languages, you can sense that from you can understand that from instantly almost.
So here's a difficult question for you.
They're all difficult
somebody
questions.
new,
you're putting me into spot.
Lingoholics, we drill you.
When you meet somebody new and they ask you, where are you from, what do you say?
Yeah, that's the thing. I like to say that I was born in the Philippines, but I'm from Milan, because Milan is the place that I know more, and like Italy. Because that's where I started hanging out, or I'm just more familiar in Europe. Like moving around Europe, it's me. Like going to Germany, going to France, taking the plane. I'm more familiar there. But I also. That's why I'm in Canada. I should say I'm Canadian. Not yet, because of the COVID, that everything has they postpone it. But I'm after 5 years now. I'm Canadian, so I like to say I'm Canadian, because Filipino Canadian, Filipino Italo Canadian. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
I
identity
can
is
be
hard.
I can be whoever you want.
okay, so it's malleable.
It's I'm malleable. Very fluid. If they're talking about gender fluidity, I am linguist and identity
Nationally
fluid.
fluid.
Nationally
Linguistically
fluid. Linguistically fluid.
Ein
I'm a
bisschen
mix. I can
Französisch,
say
ein
I'm a mix.
bisschen.
I am Filipino blood, Filipino Filipino by blood and Filipino by nationality. But my inside, my education is Italian.
Yeah.
But my values are Filipino, but are also somehow Italian, or my values are also Filipino, but are also Canadian. They are universal. Yeah, I'm a global citizen, actually. Yeah.
Nice.
Can we have this definition? Why do we always have? I feel that when I said to Filipino that I am from Milan, because of course they asked me, okay, were you born in? I was born in San Pablo, so they asked me, oh, so you're Filipino? You are a Filipino, because that's how they asked me. So are you a Filipino? And I say yes, I am from. I am a Filipino, and then and then from there they asked me, where are you from? And where in the Philippines. And that's where I'm kind of put into a spot, because I don't know what to say, because if I say San Pablo, they say, oh, San Pablo, and then they tell something about San Pablo and I don't know. And I feel like, okay, I'm not from there, but
Right.
and
Okay.
or they ask me people from that place, I don't know, or family, because I was really into my Italian friends, not into the Filipino community. In Canada, yes, I joined more that Filipino community, probably because when you grow up, you start you see more these differences. You are closer to I'm much closer now to the Filipino community compared to when I was in Italy. In Italy, I was like their baby. I was the baby that has to be educated to be Italian. And in Canada, I'm being the new Canadian, the newcomer, that has to be educated to be a good Canadian. In Italy, I was educated from the Filipino, the savage Filipino, from the tropical, from the banana republics into Italy. Yeah, I see that now. That's not true. Educated as Italian, and here now as a Canadian citizen. And how I feel, and when I say I'm from, does it really matter what is my background? Because it is very reductive when you say I am Filipino, and it's really reductive when I'm Italian. And what is kind of completed if you know what is definition of Canadian, or what is your personal definition, and what's my personal definition of Canadian. My definition is that I am Canadian. I'm gonna say I'm Canadian.
Right.
Although I don't know the history, but I'll pass it. I'll pass that test. It's just 30
boys. I don't think we've talked about languages that much, honestly. Like,
no, we're not talking about
a little bit.
No. Yeah, but I don't think we ever went through thoroughly which languages.
I talk about language because
Miguelito
here
speaks.
I was able to show off my improvement in English. I didn't never use English like this before. I never had conversations.
Right, but Miguelito.
Yes.
Miguelito, can you just go through which languages that you speak and kind of like rank them in an order of fluidity? Okay.
I would say now it really changed depending on the topic that I'm using. Now it's English first, I would say, and then second Italian. Second, but this two is interchangeable depending on what is the topic and what I'm.
So English is your first language. Is that what you just said?
No, my mother tongue is Tagalog. My first language is Italian, and then the first foreign language is English, and the second foreign language is Spanish, and the third foreign language is German. Sixth is French, and then seventh is other languages, because those if it's translating, I can translate all these languages, no problem. Even Romanian, I can find the rules and translate them. But when it comes to interpreting, yes, I can do it. You give me a poem, I translate it. Maybe it takes me some 5 weeks. But I'm always able to find the resources so that I can give you good translation on even if it's a book or in any languages. But when it comes to interpreting, definitely need to do a little bit more work, and you probably can hear it from my English. I have to improve my speaking, my conversation skills, but my comprehension, my listening are pretty. Quite good.
So you're on the path of conquering all the Romance languages, it sounds like. No?
I already conquered them.
No, Portuguese.
Portuguese. Oh, yes.
And Romanian.
And Romanian. And guys, and boys, you can't forget about Catalan.
But è catalano, esatto, Reto Romanish. Yeah, exactly. I kind of lost sight, because I used to do the studying languages when from 16 to 23. When I went into Canada, my goal to move to Canada was to improve English, live here, become Canadian. That was my goal, and settle in Canada, and that was my goal in 2023, and build my community somehow. Contribute to the community, leave an impact. I'm trying to do it somehow. From here I started to, from a linguistic background. They expected me to be working. My family expected me to work at the airport, being a flight attendant. All jobs that are related to immigration or working with government, and somehow I did not, or working as a nurse, or being a frontline. But instead, I did choose to be a frontline when I took personal training, so applied kinesiology here, because from a linguist, I say, how am I going to channel the language, and how can I'm done of studying all these languages, bringing me to nowhere. Because I come to a lot of disappointment somehow, because I realized that I'm still learning about languages and how to use them. How I channel it into applied kinesiology, learning about movement, getting stronger, and I became a swimming instructor. I started to be a lifeguard, so I started observing the community here, and that was the way to learn people. Being a lifeguard, you just watch, you observe, and then I took the certification and I became a swim instructor, and they teach me. I learned how to be part of, see the community, and that accelerated the process of what I needed. I saw the social dynamics that I needed to learn, and from there behave, so that I can be a good citizen and give some value. And I choose the swim instructor because it was kind of respectable, instead of because I was working in a grocery store. That was the first work that I did here when I moved. Kitchen, in a grocery store, allowed me to learn about food. Because these are the things that I didn't know. The food that you eat here, and to integrate. There were those are the big changes that I had to learn, because I didn't study. I'm Canadian. I'm becoming Canadian, but I didn't grow up as a Canadian or in this type of high school. The TV is a part of it. Our nationalism, the identity is made of TV somehow, and
it's true.
And
Can you
I
repeat?
watched Simpsons.
What do you mean though? What do you mean?
I watched
get that.
all Simpsons, Friends, all the series that you watch. I watch them in Italian, not in English, so I can't really relate much with the jokes. I can relate maybe with the Bella, because for example, what's up, when in Italian was Bella, and so sometimes I will be left outside, on the surface. Although maybe I know what they're talking about, but I don't know in specific the name, or because in Italian it has been translated different way, or the movie it's not the same title, but it's different. The title is completely different. Or bruschetta. I was working into Italian restaurant, and then they asked me for bruschetta, and I said, "Oh, what is bruschetta?" And then the guest, the customer said, "What? You work in an Italian restaurant and you don't know what is bruschetta?" And I said, "No, I don't know what is bruschetta." And then they showed me, "Oh yes, bruschetta." Oh, okay. How did I not know that it was bruschetta? I don't know. Damn, I'm working in an Italian restaurant and I don't know that. So I felt like I was stupid. But if I looked Italian, maybe I would not have that. I would not have that. Situation.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was white, but I was Filipino, so it's clearly immigrant. He's just, that's why I like I'm very careful of the stereotypes and the way I look, the way I talk. That's why somehow I don't like meet up was a good way. The language community was a good way for me to work on my confidence and go be and have that, open up the conversation. Thank you for opening this conversation and asking me all these questions, in fact, because that's fucked up with people. For me, I'm not from that. I know what it is, but for certain people that have certain stereotypes, they might, because they kind of look at me when I start speaking and say, "Oh, but this guy doesn't sound Filipino," because I also have feedback. They say, "You must be from the Philippines because when you speak is very Filipino." But then if Filipino, they say, "Oh, it doesn't sound Filipino. You have a different accent," and then it's just confusing. And so for that, I prefer written communication or not meeting people or just
Okay, so
it's really frustrating being a polyglot and having different probably personalities, because I sound different in every language. You probably hear that many times.
I think that's something that's like very interesting for all three of us, because I'm solidly Canadian, and so is Ian, and Marcus is clearly Swedish.
Clearly,
so
okay.
For us to like struggle
Marcus,
with the idea of,
I can't tell because I don't know much about Sweden.
But even Marcus being here, like what, 2 years now? Well,
yeah, but Marcus, you clearly identify as Swedish.
Dude, I identify
somewhere
in the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah. You're Atlantis.
Yes, dude. Like Southern Greenland, something like that.
Because even from Italy,
so you're Danish. You're Danish.
growing up in Italy, Sweden for us is like completely different. Even from Italy, it's completely different word. They are called sono I barbari, the Viking, the Sassoni, or they are the Northerns. They're far away from
Northerners.
Yeah.
Vikings.
Those wildlings.
Yeah, pasa lo que pasa.
How did you leave? How did you feel the difference from moving to Sweden to Canada, to Calgary?
Well, I didn't move.
But you had Vermont and
yeah, I've been moving around ever since I was
Johnny Cash Award. He's been everywhere,
born. Man. I mean, like Canada for me is very natural. It's like I like
simple. Very simple.
I like cold weather and cocky, which is that's Canada for you. So, I mean, like, it's a pretty natural fit. Yeah, there you go.
I like Canada too.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah,
good spot. Yes. Definitely, yes.
Yeah. It's a good spot on this earth.
But Cody, I don't know, where were you going with that whole I'm
Yeah,
Canadian
with the
talk?
I just think
with the
it's interesting.
personality.
Yeah, like, well, it's different, right? Like, cause yeah, like I agree with Koda. Like, I was born and raised here, but then like for me, what Miguelito and Koda, if you move away from Sweden permanently somewhere, like that's what like a couple generations of my family did before. Granted, in a like very different century and a very different time. So that's why like I wanted to like discover that. But imagine you guys have kids here in North America, and like 4 generations down the line, they're like, oh, like my great grandfather was Filipino or Italian or Swedish, and then like
Pinche sueco.
they might pinche sueco. Mi abuelito fue pinche sueco, and then like they want to like go back to Sweden or they want to go back to the Philippines, and they have this like desire. So I'm like, are we just all kind of like in a weird time warp where it's like, okay, certain families or certain generations or at certain points, kind of thing? I don't know.
Oh,
But
well, I don't know. My family choose Canada because of they had opportunity here. But I'm still connected to the Philippines. We have a house.
of course.
And we have land. I still have land. Like not me, but my mom, my grandparents still have land, and we have caretakers. So I'm connected, but we just choose to live in. I don't know why. That I've always wondered, but that's how the people in my life that are doing, and that made me think. But I'm okay for now. As I said, Canada was part of a phase of something that I had to do I had to do as part of my parents' plan. But I am thinking to go to Philippines and and go back there and contribute to the society somehow, to the community, to do my own thing there too. Just go like live a normal simple life, like growing, working with the community, with the police, training them, teaching swimming. There's a lot of activities you can do. But before, I need to what I'm working here is the financial freedom. I need to work that, invest, and I think this is a place. It's a good place to secure that for when you're old, and while you're young, use it, because here is it's a young place, and then I don't know, everywhere is a good place. It's really up to you what you're making up to it.
Make of it.
Yeah, what you make of it. Sometimes I hate Calgary because it's cold, but I also
pinche
like
frio, pinche frio. Winter's coming.
Yeah, because but I also like it because it has given me so much in terms of opportunity.
Yes.
Opportunity, and both of them, like in depending on what I needed, because in Italy I needed I had all I needed, and I worked sometimes, but I was not focused that much as work, because I was just studying more, and so I was really able to enjoy it and learn to be Italian, with Italians, making good connections, and then and what I don't like about my experience, you said about my life is being enviable. It's not. It's gonna bring you to a lot of sadness, because you're gonna meet a lot of people that you won't ever see, and you will be just because you'll be living with them, and then bye, because they just your life, the pathway just separates. And I mentioned about Germany. In Germany, I met so many people from Albania, and we are still in touch. on Facebook, but it's not the same anymore than when we were
Yeah, absolutely.
in person, and in that time that we didn't have internet. And yeah, talking of internet, we have this social media thing. It's great because I can do things from here, like all over, and just with the time. But it gives me a fake sense of being with people. Really fake, really fake that are so close, and it sucks so much energy that I do have social media that I try to meet people I prefer to meet them in person all time.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's what I don't like about.
Oh man, this is a really sad topic. This is something that all of us can really relate to because we've all traveled a lot and we've all moved several times. So
yeah,
I feel like whenever you become close with a group of people and you have to leave, like, that's like one of the worst feelings in the world.
And then and then at the certain age when you are, and then at the 30, I just turned 30. So I just different goals, different priorities than when I was 16 and studying languages. So my approach to languages now, it's more, of course, try to learn as much as possible, but it's more on what am I studying and what is the purpose of me studying this language? What am I going to do? And in Canada, it's about taking certification or improve, certain certification and teaching, how to start teaching. That's how I put my my energy into, and my linguistic background in. And I was learning a new profession that was being a lifeguard, or learning being a server or being a merchandiser, grocery store clerk. What is the common words like the grocery clerk? Use? These are the things that I learned, and I'm cooking up very different, collecting in Canada different professions. I've done 7, and I want to keep learning new terminologies and new specific language for any profession so that I can speak the profession, even though I don't know how to do it, but someone else will train me to do it. But at least I can pass the certification, and that allow me to be more qualified to what I'm doing. For now, yes, I want to still keep doing in interpreting, but I'm more focused in English because in terms of, like, as we had this conversation, Cody, Italian is not really useful. It's more for people like why do you want to study Italian? Now everyone wants to study English, and that's me too, because now I am. Before I was one of the best, of course. In Italy, they all he goes to Canada, he speaks English, etc. But when I moved to Canada, my English sucks. You know, they kids, especially kids, yes. If you want to teach kids here, you want to have good English. My English is not that good. My pronunciation, my accent, it's not.
Don't be hard on yourself, man.
Yeah.
It's for standard. No, it's real. I'm not being hard. I'm just aware of what type of work I need to do, and that
honestly,
is.
Can I say something here?
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is extremely relative because I feel like the standard for people learning English is really high, and I think the standard for people learning other languages is like way down here. Like, for example, this might be an extreme example, but when I was in China, if I said hi to someone, like if I just said ni hao, they'd be like, "Whoa, your Chinese is so good." But like if you're an immigrant and you come to Canada and you spew off an essay and you make like one pronunciation error, some Canadian will be like, "Oh, like you're an immigrant, like you don't speak good enough English, like go back to your country." Like it's really ridiculous.
Yeah, and you were trying to teach me English, you know, and that's the kind of thing. And you face that in Italy too. You know, each place. In fact, how do you spot spies? It was based on their accent. Or what they know. And yeah, I can't teach to Canadians because I can only teach maybe or help because I am learning. When I learn languages or when I try to teach, I'm learning. I'm learning so much more than I am teaching. Because teaching is just where I learn in delivering classes is just know the purpose, keep it simple, tell them, show, and let them do. And then just give them your strategy so that they can be responsible for their own learning. And just so that you just give them their tips, small things, and so they can be, because they own their own learning, and without you be independent and do things. That's what it is teaching. But what I was trying to say, but yes, see, when I have verbal diarrhea at now.
Okay.
I thought you
All
said
right.
Yeah, I have verbal diarrhea. My brain just goes so fast sometimes that my mouth can't follow.
La caca verbal. No pasa nada.
no pasa nada, güey. No pasa lo que pasa.
Bueno.
Boys, how we feeling? It's pretty late for y'all.
Yeah, it's late. Okay, but
It's 12:30.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm falling asleep.
Ian, what do you tomato?
Talking tomato.
Tomatina.
Tomatina,
Por tu parte, güey. Tío. All right. Okay. Miguel, it is late. Está tarde. Pinche temprano para Marquito. But
we didn't
all right.
talk about language
We talked about. No, we did. We talked a lot about language and how it works. But okay, specifically, in our WhatsApp chat, Miguelito. All right, tagalización. Está
tagalización, yes.
Tagalización, ok. ¿Puedes explicarnos un poquito de la tagalización? Like we love, nos encanta el español, todos aquí. Can you explain? Because the Filipinos in Spain have a
yes, exactly. So I hear a lot of the time, even in Canada, I'm half Spanish, and then and then they say I speak Spanish. Filipino, they say I'm half Spanish. Do you speak Spanish? Yeah, I speak Spanish, and and it's very common to hear that Filipinos speak Spanish, and then also Filipinos say yes, we do speak Filipino, and then you ask them some question, and not just isolated word, and then they can't answer, and that's kind of it's a little bit disappointing because they're not and also it is disappointing for me because when I speak Spanish, they said, oh, you speak Spanish, or you can understand, and they said, oh, it's because Philippines has been colonized by Spanish, and that's not true. It's not because they've been colonized. I speak Spanish because I put some hours into it. Not much, because I was mostly out of the class, but I put time into it to learn. And it's disappointing because they undervalue that effort that I took, extra effort compared to other Filipinos that they speak they use certain words that are Spanish, but they don't know the etymology of that word and why it has been introduced, or why it is being now common use in Tagalog, which is the official language of the Philippines. And I don't like that. Something that makes me feel somehow bad. But in Philippines there is a Chavacano. It's
Chavacano.
Have you heard of it?
What exactly is it?
It's Spanish. It's like a dialect. It's mixed with the local dialect in the Philippines. one of the region of the Philippines, of the 100 regions
Yeah.
of the Philippines, and they speak Chavacano, and this Chavacano is not even Spanish. It it it's it wants to be a different language, from Spanish, and it was a Spanish taught by the missionaries, and it
Right.
was taught wrong, with wrong grammar and wrong spelling. So it's just bad to Spanish, like the yo quiero and it's quiero. It's just like in it's just a variation of the language, and yeah,
Yeah.
and then that's Chavacano, and they're printing their own dictionary, and they have their own news in Chavacano, and it's not, and it's another funny language, I somehow artificial that it's claiming its identity, I want its place into the category of all these languages, and to make it more local. And I'm seeing, and with the globalization, that's what we need. We need more more authenticity somehow, and and that's where with the languages somehow is going. With me, I'm the first example of it. I am. We in the previous episode we were talking about Esperanto. I am somehow Esperanto of my own
Yeah.
personal
Right.
needs of experience. And so you are. So you are Cody. So you are Ian and Marcus with your experience, because he was saying, when you're learning languages, it's not just about the word, or it's more on the people, Especially, yeah, I learned that in English. Before I started to, when I was studying English, and I would study English trying to imitate the white voice. Yeah, the white voice, customer service. Hi, hello, how are you? But trying to do that, but then I said, it's too much effort for my vocal cords, and for my facial expressions. What I'm gonna put it as is leave the because I'm more comfortable with this Milanese accent or cadence. I'll keep this, but still trying to readapt it to the Calgarian or Albertan sounds if I need to say certain things, or depending on who I am working with. I'm good moving for this type of
It makes sense. Yeah, that makes
things
sense.
in mind. But because that's for me works. And it's imitating there, but they're gonna know that I will fit in, because that's what it is. Because I have certain ways of doing things that it will help me not to fit in into certain community, or it will help me to fit in because I have certain characteristics that um that can be useful. I don't know, someone that can be useful, or uh help,
Yeah.
because it is a personality. Anyway, it's very complicated. I'm still learning about
No,
it.
man. No worries, man.
I'm still, and I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, it is more when you see when they take time, yeah, in Italian, in a Roman, or in French, when you say you take time, and you don't sound stupid, but you sounds more like, oh wow, he's taking his time. This guy, he knows his thing. He's intellectual. He's smart. In Canada, if you do that, you're just retarded.
Yeah, totally.
See,
Gotcha.
and from Italian, I have that way of speaking or believing or communicating, and that I'm still learning and developing, and it is for me too very confusing. Still, yes, because it's constant
Yeah. All
assessment,
good.
and it's in your brain. But what were you what were you asking before I went in when I went to the before I went to this like changing learning the way, the dialect, the someone
Yeah.
sounds from where they're from, eh?
I forget. I just asked the Philippines.
Yeah, Spanish.
But
Filipino.
yeah, but yeah,
The language goes on connection. My connection goes so
lots of
fast,
connections. Yeah.
My links go fast, and I can't.
No, man.
Dude, you're buzzing.
Buzzing.
You're buzzing.
What does a buzzing? What is buzzing?
Good energy.
Yeah.
Good energy. Yeah.
Good
No,
energy.
it's just
Resonating.
explosive.
Mental.
That's my energy.
Buon
It is not.
Yes.
energy mental.
It is.
But,
It's a lot of energy mental. Yeah, it is so strong. And it just goes boom. It
And we love it. Yeah, we love it.
Yo, man. Yeah, we captured it, boys. We captured it.
We captured it.
Episode 11. So
Episode
yeah.
11.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
boys. It's
How we doing?
It's late here.
It's late, and it's light here now.
Yeah,
So
you got daylight.
I gotta get going. I gotta start my day.
I
I'm
gotta-
going on an
yeah, you
adventure
got your-
tonight.
Do it.
Yeah, I think-
Ooh. What are you doing?
Thank you guys for.
I'm going up. I'm taking the train up Costa Brava, up to Costa Brava, which is right north of Barcelona. It's the coast that goes from Barcelona to France, essentially. So I'm gonna go up there and chill out, and check out the beaches.
Oh, I am kind of jealous.
It's beautiful, dude.
It's not a big deal, but
So
whatever.
are you neighbor now? You cook Ian and Cody, your neighbors?
What are you doing this weekend? Why are
Well,
you here?
I'm here because I have to get up in 4 hours to drive to
Really?
Jasper, and I'm renting a fat bike and going up Celestine Trail. No, that's the road to get to Snake Indian Falls, and that's the name of the trail. And I'm bike packing for one night, and if hopefully I'm here for episode 12, whatever that is.
It's gonna get pretty cold out there, man.
Dude, you're taking Route 93 up.
I'm taking the ice fields, and I'm from I've never been.
It's like
31 years residing in this part of the world. Never been.
Yeah, how's the weather?
Seriously, it's like one of the
I say fresco.
No, but is it clear?
most famous 10 highways in the world.
Yeah, no, it's clear, but the temperature
Nice.
it's looking cool.
No, but that's nice. You're gonna have a beautiful drive.
should be
'cause
nice. Should be nice drive. But I'm hoping the bike ride's okay. That's what I'm worried about the bike ride. So
Yeah, I'm worried too.
kind of saga.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude,
if
that's
we're
sick,
gonna
honestly.
Be able to continue the
I'm
podcast
stoked.
because Ian might die.
I might die. I mean, I have a ton of biking.
Yeah, who are you going with?
To Amigos del Norte, the Edmonton
Okay.
Vermilion.
Yeah,
So what about the teddy bears? They still out?
teddy bears. They're
Because
Bears.
Jasper's known for
Yeah, sorry.
Jasper's known for all their
yeah.
teddies.
Speaking of teddy bears,
They got a chance.
speaking of teddy bears, they kill in one of the apartments in Calgary. They found someone that was bringing a bear cub dead in their apartments. They were.
Oh, that's great.
Did you hear that?
No.
No, so they don't have specific rules in Canada apartments. So it was legal thing. So you can bring a dead bear cub in your apartment and do whatever you need. If you need to do a fur or you need to do a tuca out of
Pinche osos, way.
you can do that. You can kill because now the teddy bears it's open. The hunting for bears in Alberta is open. Yes, man, it's open. Why are you laughing? It's tragic.
It's teddy bear season.
It's teddy bear season, yes, and you can kill them if you want.
Pasa lo que pasa, güey. No
Pasa lo que pasa. Bueno, muchachos.
No, do you have guns?
Miguelito,
You guys-
Miguelito, way.
you're buzzing,
Do
dude.
you have guns?
You're
What?
buzzing.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, I'm buzzed.
You're buzzing, bro. You're buzzing.
I'm asking you a question. Do you have guns?
No, none of us have guns.
No way. You wouldn't shoot. You wouldn't go hunting. That's good.
I feel like this is a good place to end.
Yeah, no, man. It's getting late. It's getting late.
Yeah, I gotta start my day, folks.
No, Miguelito, muchísimas gracias.
No, grazie a voi, grazie per la prova. We're gonna call.
Molto grazie, molto grazie.
Grazie.
Yeah,
Grazie.
don't